Hey everybody, it's Tracy. I think this is Vlogmas Day 4, and it has been a rough one. I'm not doing well with my depression and anxiety side effect from the Gabapentin. I'm hoping to hear this evening from my neurologist as to what do we do about this. I'm going to have to stop the medication. But in addition to dealing with depression, and I'm having suicidal thoughts, so it is severe, which had been completely under control with the medications that I've been on. So it's the addition of this new medication that is causing this. But I'm, in addition to trying to just deal with your own racing thoughts, the thoughts in your head, the anxiety that doesn't make any sense, I know in my mind I don't have any reason to be depressed. There's no reason to be anxious, but that doesn't stop my body from responding that way. I mean, it's mental illness. It doesn't have to make sense. But last Friday, I came down with the flu. Not the worst flu you could have, but it was a virus. Saturday, my 15-year-old got it. I still wasn't feeling great, but I felt better than I did on Friday. And on Friday, I had to have my daughter-in-law pick up my 3-year-old granddaughter. Sunday, my 15-year-old seemed to be doing better. I was tired. My depression and anxiety were not good. Still didn't feel 100%, but I wasn't like living in the bathroom. This morning, I had my 3-year-old again, my 15-year-old, and my 17-year-old are down with the flu. So the 15-year-old got it back again. They're both upstairs, with chalk buckets and then running in the bathroom and they're both sick. I'm not feeling well. My 3-year-old arrives, my 3-year-old granddaughter arrives, and my 15-year-old has thyroid Hashimoto's and some other health issues, and she's missed 7-8 days this semester, excused with doctor's notes, but the schools start sending letters. You can only miss 8 days, and they're threatening to give you an F. And so there's the stress of that, and it's but she's got the flu. She can't go to school. I have a 3-year-old. I have 2 sick kids. I'm not feeling well. And I had to go at 1:30 and pick my 18-year-old son up from school to take him to an eye doctor appointment with the 3-year-old. And I'm I can't juggle all these people and go run these 2 girls into the doctor's office to get a note. I know they have the flu. They're not going to be able to ride in the car the 30 minutes to the doctor's office without puking and needing to go to the bathroom. I mean, how am I even going to get in there? So they stayed home. I took the 3-year-old. I got my son. Went to the eye doctor. My 3-year-old is a very, very good child. I mean, she really is. But when you're waiting in an eye doctor's waiting room, that's a little bit much for a 3-year-old. And she was climbing under the chairs. She was taking her shoes off and throwing them across the room. I mean, she was having a hard time with patience and waiting because she had fallen asleep in the van on the way to the eye doctor. So she was really tired and needing a nap. And so she was just doing what 3-year-olds do and act out. We found out, trying to say that the only people on our vision insurance was my husband, which is not true. But that's all that was coming up in the record. So we hit an insurance snafu. But because my son has diabetes, they said we can run it under the medical. I said, okay, do an exam, run it under the medical. Well, that's all well and good. And he had a significant prescription changed. He needed new glasses and a new prescription. But because they're not showing that he's on the vision plan, which he should be, we can't get any glasses or order any prescriptions. So the lady was sitting on hold. I got my granddaughter running all over the place. While Sam was still back in the exam, I took my granddaughter out to the van. Thank God for DVD players in the van. They pop down. I've got dual DVD players that pop down from the ceiling, and I had kid DVDs in there, and I popped in Strawberry Shortcake or something, and for at least a little bit she was mesmerized by sitting in Grammy's van watching a movie. Then I told the receptionist, call me on the phone when my son's done and we need to come in. So they did, got her out, went in. She's sitting on hold with the insurance company trying to figure out why in the world it's not showing that my son and all the rest of us are on there. Besides my husband, it's like just one more thing I don't need to deal with today. And she was still sitting on the phone. I said, you know what? I said, I can't, this is probably not going to be resolved today. I have no idea. So I'm like trying to call my husband at work. He works second shift. He doesn't get a good signal. Apparently he saw that I called, and he called me like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes later. I explained to him what was going on. He said, well, I'm probably going to have to get on the portal tomorrow and figure it out. And then once we figure it out and we get it showing me and the kids back on the insurance, I've got to call the eye doctor back, and they got everything on hold and all the stuff that he picked out and stuff like that. I got to go pay for that. And then I have a hearing aid, and I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to show it to you. I am, can you see that right there? It snaps on a rod. I have profound conductive hearing loss in this ear. So I have a hearing aid that snaps onto a titanium rod that sticks out of my head. So I am partially deaf, but corrected pretty well with the hearing aid. And one of the cool things about it is there's an app for that, and my phone, when I have my hearing aid on and activated, my phone automatically rings to my hearing aid. So I hear everything directly through the hearing aid, and it goes through the conductive process of my implant. Well, I went to the pharmacy on the way home from the eye doctor and left my son in the car running, the key was there, and I left my phone out there because we had stopped and picked up some takeout. And I'm standing at the checkout trying to figure out why one of my prescriptions wasn't there that I had called in. And the phone, I hear my phone ringing in my hearing aid, yet my phone was out in the car. I'm like, oh my God. And then I noticed that they charged me retail price on one of my prescriptions. Our co-pays are like ridiculously low. Most of them are $6 for co-pays. It's rare. I think my husband, he has glaucoma and he has a drop. I think they charge us, for a 3-month supply, they charge us $17. And at one point, with different insurance we had years ago, it was like $200 for that same drop. Fantastic insurance. A lot of my prescriptions that we get, and I'm on several, and the only one in the house that's not on any prescriptions at all is my 18-year-old. I get some that are like 72 cents. Seriously, that's how much I pay. It's ridiculous. But they were charging me retail for one of my depression medications because they try to force you to do the 90-day because it's cheaper. But I had switched who was prescribing this particular medication, and I guess I had hit my retail limit, and they were forcing me, so they charged me full retail price for it. Thankfully, that was only $15, but that's a whole lot different than $6, and not what I needed to see today. So today, all the way around, was stressful. I'm already high stress. Depression is up. I have a migraine. There's a strong line of storms coming in. When I came home, it was 68 degrees. There is a very, very strong storms coming in with high winds and a cold front. Tomorrow's high is going to be 47 and it's going to snow on Thursday. So 68 to snow. And tomorrow, the phone call that I got in the pharmacy was a voicemail reminder of my MRI that I have tomorrow of my abdominal area to try to identify what the liver mass is. And she kept reiterating so many times I had to have an empty stomach for 8 hours. She emphasized no water, no food, no gum, no mints, no breath mints, nothing. I had to have an empty stomach because it's with contrast. So, like, okay, I got it. I have to be fasting. Then I got orders from our doctor that me and my daughter go to for our thyroid stuff. It's a natural, it's an integrative functional DO who we see. And they sent orders for all the tests that we have to have. And we have to be off our thyroid medication for 24 hours. I have to be fasting and go early in the morning because they check my cortisol because I have adrenal insufficiency. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out, my daughter can't miss any more school. She's got to go off her thyroid medication, which is going to make her feel bad. And then I've got to try to get her as early as possible into the lab. And I'm not sure if the lab is open on a Saturday. No idea how I'm going to make that work. I really don't. Anyway, it's just a day in the life of chronic illness. It's a day in the life of the mom of many, and like I'm sure many of you go through, you have the same thing, maybe a lot busier than me, but right now, in this moment, I'm at my limit. It's too much. So, I didn't want to post this video, but I'm trying to be consistent in the Vlogmas and be real. You know, this was today. And tomorrow is a little worrisome. It's like, what is the mass? Is it just a hemangioma, which is a benign tumor? Or is it something else? I don't know. And I'm supposed to hear, hopefully at some point this week, about the biopsy they did on my daughter's lip. My 15-year-old had a suspicious mole removed that had been changing over the years, and we're waiting on pathology for that. So you add those couple extra layers of stress. It's more than just the usual. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. I am going to try to find something to watch. And maybe go take some Ativan and chill. And not eat anything 8 hours before my test tomorrow. Because you have to have an empty stomach. So, anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. And I will talk to you tomorrow.